Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of What Does That Mean? I am Alex Berling, one of the co hosts of the Purple Wave Northern Kentucky. We're going to switch gears and talk about the state legislature and this time period that is known as the interim session. So instead of being in Frankfurt all the time, voting on bills, super fast paced environment, the interim session is a small break from that. A lot of our state reps and state senators are in their respective districts, and they may go to Frankfurt once or twice a month for these interim committee meetings, depending on how many committees they're in. Each one of these meetings tends to be a lot longer in length than the meetings during the regular session when it's a much more fast paced. This session goes from June through December. The interim session committees are formed from the Senate committees and the House committees that were in existence during the regular session, when they were voting on bills in those committees. For example, we have a House Health Committee and a Senate Health Committee. During the interim session, they're just combined, and there's two chairs. The Senate Health Chair is one of the co-chairs, and the House Health Chair is one of the co-chairs. Again, it's a lot slower paced. It's extensive, in-depth discussion and research of current and future legislation. So they look at the laws that they've passed before, do they need to be revamped, and any future ideas. It gives our state legislators time to be able to really compile all of the research they could possibly need to be able to form any of the bills that they want to write, and in fact allows for drafting and pre-filing of those bills ahead of time for 2025 so they can hit that rocking and rolling voting on bills and get their bill into that process of a bill becoming a law right when 2025 session begins. All the interim committee sessions, just like the regular sessions, are open to the public and available on KET. Most of the meetings are held in the Annex building, which is the building Capitol in Frankfurt. It's on the first floor. There are occasionally sometimes where they might meet elsewhere. For example, in August at the State Fair, some of the meetings meet there in Louisville, but they'll let you know on the calendar ahead of time. Now, most of the testimony during the interim is from expert groups and specific stakeholders on that specific issue that they're talking about. Public comment may be permitted, but again, just like the regular session, it is up to the committee chairs. Now, during the interim session, like I said, those meetings are long and the testimony is long, and the legislators are allowed to ask lots of questions. So a lot of times they like it all planned ahead of time. But if you're really interested in speaking at these interim committee sessions, your best bet is to contact the chairs ahead of time. Now, task forces are a special part of the interim session. They talk about specific issues. But Alex, don't each committee talk about specific issues? Like health committee meeting talks about health. Well, yes, that's true. But task forces are even more specific than that. They're very special. They're voted on and passed through as joint resolutions from the previous regular session. In fact, so special that even if a task force was approved for 1 year, it doesn't mean it's going to be approved for the next year. For example, last year in 2023, there was a certificate of need task force, which is a specific issue, by the way, of healthcare. And for whatever reason, that task force did not get voted on and approved as a joint resolution this year. So there is no certificate of need task force in 2024. The task forces of 2024 are the Artificial Intelligence or AI Task Force, the Efficient and Effective School District Governance Task Force, which is a fancy name for are we or are we not, and how are we or how are we not going to split up Jefferson County's public schools. The Kentucky Housing Task Force, so hopefully we're going to find some solutions to our affordable housing crisis, and the Workforce Attraction and Retention Task Force. Now, we already have the interim session 2024 June calendar and July's and August, and it will need to be updated because the task forces, as you can see, are not on the calendar, but they will update it when they can. And that's where you have it. Now, what I will tell you is, luckily, if you have a committee on a Wednesday, it'll probably be on a Wednesday the next month. They're pretty consistent like that. Thanks for watching, and Research Committee, or the LRC as it's known. Have a great day.